have familiarized with the different facts of C++ programming language, their character set, tokens, they are also known as words, etc. Moreover, we discussed how operations can be performed and how that can be expressed in C++ programming language. We also learned different types of statements in C++, just like a declaration statement, input statement, output statement, assignment statement, etc., to give instructions to the computer to perform different work. We are now in a position to write a simple statement to solve some problems by using these statements. But a set of statements alone does not constitute a program. Means if you are going to write only such type of statement that we had learned during the last episode, definitely we cannot solve the problems with the help of C++ programming language, because C++ program has a typical structure. We have to follow the structure. For example, if you are going to write a leave letter to be given to a teacher, we will follow a stipulated structure, a specific structure. If you are going to write a personal letter, it has its own structure. Just like that, for C++ program also a specific structure that is known as basic structure of C++ program. In this section, we discuss the structure of C++ program, and also we will write some programs with the help of Genie IDE, and we will compile it with the help of GCC compiler. So we have to discuss about basic structure of C++ program. C++ program is a collection of one or more functions. A function means a set of instructions to perform a particular task referred by a name. That name never be repeated in a program. Means since there can be many functions in C++ program, they are usually identified by unique names. Means no two functions are having same name. The most essential function needed for C++ program is main function. Let us look at the structure of C++ program. The first line is called the preprocessor directive, and the second line is namespace statement, and the third line is the function header is followed by a set of statement enclosed within braces. Okay, let us discuss each of this part of the program one by one. First one is header file. This line always start with hash symbol. The preprocessor directive hash include is used to link the header files available in C++ library by which facilities required in the program can be obtained. No semicolon is needed at the end of this particular statement. Separate hash include statements should be used for different header files. Let us see the role of header files in C++ program. Header files contain the information about functions, objects, and predefined derived data types, and are available in C++ compiler, or along with the C++ compiler it is available. There are a number of such files to support C++ programs, and they are kept in the standard library. Whenever we need the resources, we can use it by including that header files in our program. For example, if you want to use the predefined object seen and cout, we have to use the statement hash include IO stream. IO stream is nothing but the header file. Even though header files have extensions as .h, it should not be used in GCC compiler. But if you are going to use Turbo C++ or Borland C++, etc., we have to use the extension .h for the header files. Okay. Next, about namespace. Using namespace identifier, we have to write the second line is nothing but using namespace identifier. What was meant by namespace? A program cannot have the same name for more than one identifier, means variables or functions in the same scope. We did discussion about the scope during the last academic year. The keyword using is nothing but a keyword technically tells compiler about the namespace where it should be searched for the elements used in the program. So using is a keyword. In C++, std is an abbreviation of standard, and it is the standard namespace in which cout and cin are defined. So if you want to use cin and cout, we have to use the namespace std. Okay, next come to the world of main functions, very important. If you use any function in the program, that should be called or invoked from the main function itself. Usually a data type is preceded by main function. In GCC it is int. The function header main is followed by its body, which is a set of one or more statements within flower brackets. Each statement is delimited by or stopped by semicolon. The statement may be executable or non-executable statement. The last statement in the body of main function is return 0. Its relevance will be explained or discussed later in this particular chapter itself. Next is comments. Comments play a very important role as they provide internal documentation of a program. They are a line of text to be added in a program to describe about the program. Usually comments are ignored by the compiler. There are two types of comments. They are single line comment and multi-line comments. In single line comments, you can use 2 slashes to write the comment, and in multi-line command you can use /* and write the command and */. And these comments are not for the compiler but for the programmer. What are the uses of these comments? They are, if you want to describe the program, you can write the command at the top of the program, and before you are going to write hash include header file, you just give a description about the program. Then that description for the programmer, not for the compiler. That is why that should be written after 2 slashes. And sometimes if there exists complex logic, you can explain about the logic by writing multi-line comments. That is also for the programmer. Later, if anybody needs to identify the logic of the programmer, they can understand if you are going to write the comments like that. That is why comments are very important. Remember, it is not for the compiler but for the programmer. Next, we can see a sample program. This is the program which shows the output of hello world. The first statement is nothing but a command, a short description about the program. Next statement you can see hash include IO stream. That is nothing but a preprocessor directive and used to link the header file IO stream with the program. Next statement is namespace statement. This makes available the identifier cout in our program. I used cout here, that is why we have to include the namespace std. Next, the main header file, that is essential function of C++ program. Next one you can see an opening brace that marks the beginning of the instruction set, or that mark the beginning of the program. Then the output statement which will be executed when we are running the program, and which displays the text hello world. Next, the return 0 statement stop the execution of the program, and thereafter you can see closing braces that marks the end of the program. Let us see the program for adding two numbers. See, first of all you have to take Genie IDE and type the code, then save the file with extension .cpp. See, this is the code for adding two numbers. I have given its description at first as the comment, then included the header file IO stream, thereafter using namespace std, then main function started, and I have declared three variables. One is number 1 num1, another is num2, and another is sum. All these variables are ready to accept integer values. Then that statement is terminated by a semicolon. Then another statement you can see, that is cout enter two numbers, then /n, that is escape sequence. That sentence or statement shows the message to the user as enter two numbers. That is an output statement. Then thereafter cin num1 num2 you can see here, that is an input statement, and I use the cascading style here. Then you can see a processing statement, sum is equal to num1 plus num2. The value stored in num1 will be added with the value stored in num2 and store the result in the variable sum. Now sum has the value, that is nothing but the sum of the values that are in num1 and num2. Thereafter an output message or output statement which shows the string constant sum is, then the value stored in sum will be displayed. Then return 0, thereafter floor bracket will be closed. Then that marks the end of the program. So to execute the program, you just go to compile, compilation successful, then build the program, then execute the program. And you can see here enter two numbers. Enter two numbers. You enter two numbers 12 and 12. Result will be 24. Now you can see sum is 24. So this is the program by which we can add any two numbers. You have to take questions from your textbook and do practice. We had seen how we can type and execute C++ program with the help of Genie IDE and compile with the same with the help of GCC compiler. And apart from that, we had seen the basic structure of C++ program and its relevance. I said that only mere statements won't execute, but we have to follow a stipulated structure. Moreover, we had seen that all the statements were executed line by line. A sequential order of executions were there. But all the situations are not like that. Some situation demands execution of the program based on some condition. Some situation need execution of piece of statements continuously. We can see such type of statements later in coming episode. Thank you.